Hi and welcome to this Gauntlet Hangout run of Inspectors. We're gonna have a fast and furious session, all done with character creation and a game in 3 hours. So I'm very happy that I have this crew of all-star gamers with me here, so that I have, of course, full faith that we will do it without any problems. I have all Europeans actually this time around. It's Horst, German exile in Netherlands, and Paul, the beer brewer, who has promised me free beer when I come to London, and Tina. Also, actually, we have never talked about this, but apparently you like the games from friends of mine. Matthijs.
Yeah, you know him personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, translated some of them to German.
Yeah, I should put some of those games up. I played Society of Dreamers on here, but it's the only Norwegian game I put up here. But oh, cool!
I did the editing for that one. That's coming out soon in Germany.
Oh, that's cool. We'll definitely get some of those games up here at some point. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy to play with you all. Here is the nice book. It's from a game from Jared Sorensen. It's always weird to say it in English because it seems like a Scandinavian name, and I want to say it in Scandinavian, which would be Sørensen. But someone sort of Sorensen or something like that. And it's a game about. It's a kind of like, I mean, I'd say it's like the Ghostbuster game, if anything. It's like a mystery game with a little bit like absurd, funny kind of vibe. And also there is the element of it being a parody of trashy reality TV. So pretty much we'll be playing a franchise of Ghostbusters or vampire trappers or whatever supernatural thing that is our specialty. And we'll be getting rid of them as their minor annoyances as they are in this kind of game world. Firstly, I have given you a link to the Inspector's character keeper. The character creation for this is pretty simple. You just we're gonna go through this real quick. If you can all, have you all found it? First of all, before I forget, of course, the Gauntlet inclusivity policy is in practice also this session as it usually is, and we'll be playing with the X card. So if there's anything, this is not like the kind of game that I expected to come up. It's not featuring heavy themes in the way I see it, but still, we don't know what makes each other uncomfortable. So of course, if there's something you just don't want to engage with that comes up, just like X or X in the chat, or even just say, can we X card this? And we'll move on. No questions asked. Of course, our collective fun is the most important part, and saying it right away when there's something you don't like, then it's the best way to do it. So, back to character creation. Pretty much, you will make some characters. It's pretty simple. They have 4 skills. You have 9 skill points, if I don't remember. Yeah, 9 skill dice. How it works is that the skill things work is that you roll the amount of dice equal to your skill level. And there's like, if you look at the reference charts, there's like a success rate depending on which dice is the highest you have. It's a good thing that says in the book is that normal character is better in the way that they don't have to be like completely crazy. It's already crazy enough working in a ghost busting company, and it is kind of like a corporate world analogy in a way. So you remember that these people also got hired at some point. and continue to be able to keep this job. Yeah. So the first thing you can do is to come up with a name and a former career or background. And this is just like flavor. This has no mechanical effect whatsoever. If anyone has any idea of something related to that already, then they can just shout it out now. If not, you can have some seconds to think about it. Also questions, so if you have them, fire away.
So we're playing in the real world and now somewhere on the planet.
Yeah, I imagine it being like I mean, we can do like I guess I was kind of imagining an American version, but we don't have to do that. I guess we can do like a European one. We already talked about Denmark. Let's make a Danish company here.
Cool.
Our sessions were Denmark too.
Yeah.
Between Denmark and Sweden. The bridge.
Oh yeah. Anyone got any ideas for what kind of person they want to play?
Yeah, I quite like to be like a guy who's like a failed musician, like you know, and he's like maybe he's like the singer in some kind of black metal band or something, and they've completely like been a flop, so he's had to like give up his dream and get like a 9-to-5 job. He's really resentful about it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, it's a short path from being a black metal singer to working in the ghost hunting business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I've got an idea. I think I want to be like a librarian who's maybe not so young anymore, maybe mid-50s, and she's I think she's been fired or something because she's so old-fashioned and computers have taken her role, and she needs something new, and she knows a lot of stuff from books. Her specialty.
Yeah, I like that. Like she's been automated away, replaced with computers, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bitter tone going here, maybe already.
If there's a bitter tone, then I'm a youngish football player, soccer for you Americans, and I had a knee injury when I was like this super talented kid, and then with 21 my knee gave out, and now I'm depressed. And I still have to earn money, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm sure like you're probably like the face of the franchise. Like people still remember you. You're like, oh yeah, you were that very talented, and now you're working in the.
Yeah, I had the contract with Arsenal and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like an actual person. I don't know if it was on purpose, but a Danish player called Niklas Bentner. Yeah,
I know him.
Well, he plays in Norway now, and he used to play in Arsenal. I don't know. It's but you work in the ghost business, so I mean, it's a real life parallel. Cool. Do we have any names for characters? They don't have to be like. Just throw any like we need to have Danish names out the window. That's not important at all. Just a name for.
I'm calling her Anita.
Anita. Yeah.
Anita. And we need last names. I need to check a name generator.
If you want, I'm not gonna force you to have a last name. Maybe she has like She just uses her first name because of the reality TV. She doesn't want to be identified.
Oh, really?
Although we see her face, so
Well, I think she's called Nielsen. That's a really popular name, I think.
yeah. It's,
Oh, the second most popular, actually, after Jensen.
yeah,
Right.
it's Jensen,
Nielsen.
Nielsen, and Andersen, I think.
Ah.
And or you can just think about a name while we make the rest of the character also, if you don't want to. So next thing you can do is to place 9 dice in your skills. It's academics, athletics, technology, and contact. It's pretty much like the research skill, the doing anything physical skill, the making a weird ghost gathering technology skill, or making it appear, and then like the social skill, which is contact. You can also see like the cool dice and the stress die under there, and that's something that you will get into during play. And cool dice is pretty much the only way that you can get better in this game. There's no like character advancement, but you can get cool die that you can use.
Oh, so the cool and the stress die are not supposed to be filled with dice, right?
No, it's the 4 first one that you have to distribute your 9
right.
die to.
Okay. Okay.
And no skill may have more than 4 die and less than 1 die. Cool. So I see 3 names and 3 filled out sets of skills here.
Yep.
So the last thing you need to do to make your character is to choose a talent that's appropriate for your agent's background. So pretty much it's just like a strength or that the character has. You can use that to add an extra die to any roll where it's relevant in any of the skills. So you could, for example, say that Henrik has strength of being a bench presser, you could say, for example. And then he could use it for anything that would come up that you could like relate that to. I mean, up to your creativity and how you're going to incorporate it.
Yeah, sure. I think I'm going to put like black metal musician or like a cult musician or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like very deep, raspy voice.
Yeah. But also like, all of his song lyrics he writes are really like sort of about some juvenile kind of like occult sort of satanic type things. So it might, he might have like knowledge about those kind of things, like demons and things.
Yeah.
Come under that.
Yeah, it could be. Anyone that has any idea that they want to put down on paper?
Yeah, I think she's just a nice, good-hearted person, and she just tries to take everybody's perspective and see the world from their place.
Yeah, good-hearted is
A soccer player is only 21. You have your whole life in front of you. I was trying to make people feel better about themselves.
Yeah. Oh man, I can totally see that with You have a talent.
Yeah, I see Nuruddin as a quick dribbler, so that he can turn very quickly. No center of gravity.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. So we have some different, very different talents. That's good. So that's pretty much like for now. We're going to let you flesh out your character a little bit more during the interview, which is like the first thing you do in this game. But for now, this is your character, so pretty quick. The next thing you can do is you can turn the page to the franchise info. Oh, actually, let's just make the franchise with the dice first. I imagine you being probably looking at your character pretty like new franchise.
Yeah, I think that's best.
What would be like a good one sentence description of the team's franchise? Like, what is your specialty? Which kind of supernatural creatures do you clean up?
Oh,
Maybe related to that. Could be.
I think it's probably something related to these black metal demons that Henrik knows about.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we're like a new franchise, I'd imagine we can't really turn away much work, so we'll literally take anything. But maybe like the speciality is kind of like ghosts and sort of demons.
Poltergeists, maybe.
Those kind of things.
Those that are nuisances rather than like these terrible demons that destroys everything. Poltergeists who just throw around stuff.
Why do people keep building stuff on top of cemeteries?
Yeah, so it's like in the like newspaper commercial, it's like, we'll clean out your demons, and then in parentheses, and everything else you have. Cool. So which I think like the number of I'm gonna give you 8 franchise dice. I think that seems to be like a good number. It's like you're quite new, but also you do know something about demons with the between the librarian and the heavy metal person. I think I'm not sure how much demonology there is in Danish football, but I think maybe
there are certain superstitions. I mean,
yeah.
Throwing grass over your left shoulder before you enter the field, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, exercising demons out of the goalpost before game.
It is a thing.
Yeah. So what you can do is that you can divide your 7 dice. I'm gonna take one of those here away. So you have 7 physical dice that you can move around here on either of these 4 things. So basically, the library card gives you. It can give like these are dice pools that everyone can use. And the library card is for academic roles. The gym card is for athletic roles. The credit card is for technology roles, of course. And the bank you can use for anything, but it also has a downside in terms of that if you use it, you're risking losing more things if you fail. So basically, if you fail on a bank roll, you will see on the reference cards here that you can, if you roll a 1, for example, you can lose all the dice in the bank for one roll.
Okay. Well, we seem to be quite weak in the technology area. So I think we should definitely put a decent amount on credit card because that aids our technology rolls.
That seems sensible.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. 3 maybe 3 dice.
Yeah, put 3 on credit card then. And then should we go 2 on library and 2 on gym? So split them equally.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, of course you have you have just a credit, no money in the bank.
Yeah.
We're starting.
Yeah. Cool. So I think we can go over to the franchise info slide when you have moved your dice, and we can start like answering some of these questions together. So are you the main office, or is it an established franchise even, or is this a startup operation?
I quite like the idea of us being like a new sort of franchise. So we've got like, we have to report to like head office kind of thing, and maybe we get like maybe there's someone there to like oversee our operation and make sure we're sort of doing the right thing or something.
Yeah, that's cool. I kind of like it. Maybe it's like a franchise of like a American operation. It's like the first like franchise in Denmark or something. But you're like not like the McDonald's or Burger King. You're like the Pennies or something that nobody in Europe really knows.
Yeah, I quite like that.
What's the name of this main thing you're a franchise of?
Oh, I don't know.
Exorcist Incorporated. Or Ghost Removers, something.
I think I like Ghost Removers. That's it's
Yeah.
It's the English word for if you remove pests from a house, like mice or something.
Exterminator.
Yeah, exterminator.
Ghost exterminators. Ghost exterminator. I like that. Exterminator Incorporated. Cool. So where is your franchise located, and how many people work there except you three? You already kind of mentioned there maybe is like a franchise supervisor present.
Yeah, like that is yeah. I imagine this person being like a real sort of corporate stooge kind of person, like their whole life is like the company, and they maybe this is their first like management job, and they really want to sort of climb the corporate ladder.
Have you guys seen Mad Men? There's the season when the British take over, and they're very stiff and very by the books.
Yeah, I have this character in my mind. I think his name is Frank.
Oh yeah. Maybe he's from like the New York office, like, and he's here to sort of supervise the setting up the franchise.
Frank White as a ghost.
Maybe we have someone who takes the calls, someone who works the desk. Or is that something everybody needs to do? Because we're just so new.
I know. I think we definitely have someone like taking calls because like when we're out on jobs and stuff, you know,
Yeah,
we can't be taking the calls.
right.
Yeah, her name is Lena.
Hmm.
Lena, the receptionist. That's pretty much it, maybe, for now.
Yeah, for now. Just starting out.
Cool. So where is the franchise located? Is it like in the city or in the suburb, or is it like in the maybe like in between, like in the where the subway kind of stops in the?
Yeah, end of the line. But it should be the like Copenhagen or a big city.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it being if it wasn't if it wasn't in Copenhagen, there's like this area where it is it's like it's where the hipsters haven't come yet. It's a lot of like it's a little like a very like immigrant heavy area, and there's a lot of it used to be when I was when I lived there. There was still like this thing where there was a lot of people who lost a lot of money during the bank crisis because of their apartments, so they couldn't sell them. So there's a lot of like for sale things there, and there's a lot of people like living there that doesn't want to live there really, but they can't get out of their mortgage. So
yeah.
But is it maybe slowly gentrified with you know, the vegan ice cream bar popping up here and there?
Yeah.
Vegan frozen yogurt.
Artisan donuts.
And then next to the kebab shop and the telephone store, obviously.
Yeah. Cool. I think we have that now. So I guess you're all on the board of directors, given how little people there are here. Who is the CEO?
I feel like our librarian. I mean, I'm not sure if the black metal musician or the football player has the smarts.
She's the most. Yeah, she seems like the most respectable person to outsiders, probably, and she's the oldest, I guess.
Yeah, cool. So we have Anita as the CEO. So which titles have you two given yourself? You are non-respectable people, non-CEO.
I think Henrik would be quite good as a consumer relations executive.
Oh, but Nureddin wants to be that as well.
Yeah,
oh yeah, maybe they're both squabbling over it.
Or maybe you're consumer relations and I'm public relations, which is the same thing.
Yeah, and there's no CFO and you have no money in the bank, so that all makes sense.
Awesome.
There's no bookkeeping.
Well, I'm doing some of the books, I think.
Yeah, you're doing
I know
all the
about
work.
books, and it's all on paper, and I don't know about computers, so I'm always unhappy with some kind of Excel sheets in stressing out about them.
Yeah, you have still the old filing cabinets and
Yeah.
like small cards.
Yeah, those card catalog things. I like little filing things, yes. And hanging files.
Is it has people invested in you, or is it maybe is it from governmental grants, or is it just your credit cards and personal loans?
Well, since we have this American guy.
Yeah, but they're vultures. It's like with McDonald's, there you have to put your own money in.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think so.
That's terrible. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, private loans would be nicely stressful. Yeah.
Private loan, pensions, and credit cards.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I quite like the idea that Henrik like got his black metal band. They got like a small like advance from their record company to record like their new album, but instead of spending it on a recording studio, they just like they spent like basically like $20 on recording it on this shitty little tape recorder, and he invested like the rest of the money like in the business.
Right.
Oh man. I already like this TV series. What does your franchise look like? Like your office, and what amenities does it feature?
I think it's definitely like it's definitely got like a shop front on it. Like people can just walk in like off the street, you know, and if they've got a problem they want us to look into. So maybe there's like I like the idea that it's in between like like a artisan coffee shop or something in this sort of gentrifying kind of area. So I guess it would have like a little seating area like at the front, like maybe it looks like it just looks like really. We don't want it to look sort of scary or anything. We want it to look very sort of clean and nice and welcoming.
Yeah, I think we just bought the cheapest sofas from IKEA. And put them there.
Everything's from IKEA. Yeah, and it's all the really cheap IKEA shit as well.
Yeah, those white couches for 200 euros a piece.
Yeah. And then
Nice.
like there's like a partition, and our little office space is like out the back. So like everything's in like the one room, the one unit, but we've kind of divided it into our little back office bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. What does the like logo of the like on the shop front look like? Is it like a text on the window, or is it what is it?
I think it's a vacuum cleaner that sucks in a ghost.
Of course, it's directly from the mother franchise.
Like a really scary looking ghost, or are we making the ghost kind of cute and non-threatening? Do we want to scare people?
No, it looks like a Hello Kitty ghost, basically. It's like super cute. Like, and the ghost is like sort of smiling as it's being sucked into the thing. It's like, hey.
It's actually liking this. We're doing the right thing for the ghost too.
Oh yeah, so yeah, maybe this the logo of this ghost kind of being sucked in. Yeah, maybe that's like the company kind of mascot. So like, so because we've just only launched, maybe there's loads of kind of like balloons like in the shape of this ghost, like sort of tied outside the shop in different colors, like tied to a sign or something.
Yeah, and a bunch of flyers that we didn't distribute yet. just on the counters, and nobody wants them because we made too many and they're really expensive. Oh, damn it.
Oh yeah, I imagine the chiefs of relations fighting over how many.
Maybe they both made some and didn't talk about it. And now we've got double.
Double is good though. What kind of gear do you have that you use for your exterminating of ghosts and other things? You of course have the vacuum cleaner. That's a thing.
Yeah, the vacuum cleaner, of course. And well, I think we have something to stun them before we can suck them up. Something like sticks or something maybe.
I like sprays, like anti-ghost sprays.
Yeah, something like this is freezing them so they can't move, and then we can vacuum them.
Yeah, maybe got them even from an old football club, because they use these ice sprays. For some reason, an ice spray on a ghost makes them slow or stuns them.
Yeah, maybe we fill these things with like this kind of weird like ectoplasm type thing. So it kind of sprays this like neon kind of gooey stuff like over them. Freezes them.
Yeah, it could be like super soakers, these water guns.
Yeah.
Built with
yeah, I love that. Yeah.
ectoplasmic goo.
Yeah, they've been customized, like, and so we've painted them kind of black and like sprayed, like stenciled our logo like on the side, like over the super soaker parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
quite like the idea as well that this kind of ghost sucker vacuum thing we've got. It's really not compact. It's like this massive thing that like takes like 2 people to like move it. Like,
it has wheels and like a luggage thing.
Yeah. It's like
and obviously the company is already contemplating Roombas where they can get rid of the people. They just throw in the Roombas and they clean all the ghosts.
Yeah.
But that will be the next step.
Automation.
Yeah, you can feel Frank watching you closely. Is there potential for automation of ghost cleaning? Very tragic for Anita, of course.
Again.
So yeah, cool. I think we pretty much got our setup ready to go. Actually, I think we can take maybe like or let's make the interview first. Actually, then we can take a break and go into the action. So basically, every Inspectors game is supposed to start with the interview. There's 3 types of them, and I think this is actually I think it's I don't think it's an interview in that sense. I think it's Frank kind of like doing like the final approval for your like a franchise deal. So he's like doing the interview for you to be like getting the Ghost Exterminations Inc. logo on your business.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's probably like in your office, most likely, and he's like sitting in this like squeaky cheap IKEA chair and like wiggling it around, and you hear like the squeaking. And he's like, yeah, where do you sit? Is it like in the sofa?
Yeah, I think at least. Yeah, I think I'm sitting on one of those sofas. Clip-on.
I like the idea that we'll sit like 3 kids next to each other on the sofa, listening to the figure of authority telling us what to do.
And those are only 2-seaters. It's kind of tight.
Really squeeze in tight.
I mean, the cool black metal singer could sit on the side, you know, on the on the arms of the sofa.
Oh, okay, yeah. He sort of lounges on the side.
Yeah, it's not very comfortable. These are not high quality sofas. Yeah, I think Frank is like looking at his like form and like taking it down on his desk and then like looking up at you. So you think you're motivated to be a part of Ghost Exterminators Incorporated? And it like looks from like I think like from one person to the next, like seeing who's gonna take charge.
Nordin looks on his cell phone and he's updating his Instagram account.
Well, Anita is rising to the occasion, of course. Yes, of course. We ready, right? Into
we're a team. We are, we work well as a team, but we also excel in our individuality. Like Henrik's just like trotting out like these things that he thinks like his boss wants to hear, you know.
Yeah, and I think you like the camera now like moves to like it changes camera to another camera looking at the guy with the camera going and zooming in on Henrik. It's like I think like you see Frank like turn to another camera and says like, yeah, so he thinks he's ready. Look at him, the tough guy. He says, I've heard you scream before, Henrik. Say how ready you are.
I scream on stage, but I don't scream at the ghosts, boss.
And he like,
I'm ready for this.
Look down at the form and like crosses off a thing. What makes you think you have what it takes to be in this business?
Well, Anita has the little piece of paper she just checked in and then put it back into her pocket. She just knows what she's gonna say soon.
Yeah, and I think you see like Frank turns to the camera again and says like, and you see Henrik here being the cool, laid-back guy of this group. I think he probably will see a good arc in this series with him getting more serious, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And he like nods his head, and he like slams his hand in the desk and says, "Henrik, don't you have anything to say for yourself?"
Yeah, I'm bringing all my skills to the team. I'm great with people. I have a deep well of motivation. I have a encyclopedic knowledge of demons. And yeah, I did a night school class in customer relations. So you see, and he points out to the balloons of the ghost, like sort of kind of tied like to the front door, and he's like, "That was my idea, boss."
And I think he like claps and says, "Bravo, bravo!" And then like, oh, and speaking of relations and PR, and then looks over at Nordina, who's like probably still fidgeting with the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I see there's some overlapping skills here. I'm a little bit confused to what exactly. What's your assets in this?
Nordin shortly looks up and says, "I have 20,000 followers on Instagram, boss. I'm the face. everybody knows me, everybody loves me. I'm a team player, TEAM, and then goes on with texting. And yes, I can text and talk.
I bet 90% of those followers are Russian spam bots, though.
I think like while Henrik is like saying that, you see like Frank like, oh, cut there, that's the perfect ending, and like, and make sure to cut out that thing about Russian spam bots. It's not what we want to have our franchise known for.
Keep the politics out.
Yeah, and I think he like gets up and is like, yeah, that was good. And then like I think the camera like zooms to his paper, and there's just like a white paper with like a cross in it, and it's like, oh, I mean, you're gonna be big, I'm sure of it. I mean, the Danish market ripe for opportunity. And he just like walks out of the store, and the camera people are like looking around, confused if they're supposed to follow him or if they're supposed to film you. What do you do?
Well, Anita looks around and that's he didn't really ask me anything. I was going to say that we complement each other so well. Well, where did he go? I don't understand these newfangled technical things. The camera people are outside? What is happening? And what is this thing you're always typing on?
You don't have phones?
I have a phone, but it's not like this. And she pulls out an old-fashioned flip phone. This is a phone, isn't it?
I've never seen this. Let me have a look. Looks like a walkie-talkie or something. And he flips the thing over. And where's the antenna?
The antenna? I don't think they have those anymore. At least that's what my nephew said.
Leave her alone, Noradine. Like Henrik kind of butts in and he's like, yeah, stop bullying her, man. You jocks, you're always throwing your weight around, don't you? You always want to make us alternative types feel belittled.
No,
well, I'll have you know that I'm not going to take it.
Oh, poor you. You were bullied when you were a kid.
Yeah, by dumb meathead jocks like you. And like they start off having a bit of like a...
Boys!
It's the camera crew like still recording like at this point.
Yeah, and I think you noticed that there's just like the one guy left, and he's like, why do I always get the behind the scenes cuts? And I think we can cut the scene there. I think we can let's have like a small 5-minute break until we get into the action. So okay. Be back at 7. Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Cool. See you in 5.
See ya.
Yeah.
So before we get into our first client, I'm gonna go through like the rest of the rules. So pretty much like the base of the game is just like roll the amount of dice you have under skill, plus your talent if it's relevant. But there's also the stress and the cool dice. So I'm gonna explain that. So pretty much the stress dice is that like anytime something shows up that the GM or then in this case me thinks that will stress out some of your characters, I'm gonna ask you to roll stress dice, or 2 or 3, depending on which amount of stress it is here. So, for example, it says as an example that if you gets cut out of traffic, then it's 1 die, and if you get cut off in traffic by an 18-wheeler, it's 2 die, for example, or seeing a pair of eyeballs staring up at you from the floor as 3 die. And also like possibly like a consequence if you get a bump in your head or whatever. I can like apply that. And then pretty much how that works is that you just roll the amount of die, and the lowest result is counting here. Yeah, higher is better here also. And if you get a 6, you can get a cool die. And with the cool die, you can add them to any roll if you want. And also, if you have 1 cool die, you can ignore 1 stress die things. If you have 2 cool die, you can ignore 2 stress die events. Like, so it makes you resistant to stress, pretty much. So, and the last thing is what you might have noticed me doing also is the thing where you look into the camera and you're people in a reality TV thing talking to the camera, and that's called confessionals. You can all do that. What it does is that it's a way for you to talk as to the other players in a way. So there's different things you can do. You can add characteristics to other characters if you want. For example, if like for example, based on this first scene, we could say that maybe Noradin is having like a confessional about some kind of trait that. So, for example, he could be sloppy or whatever, and then if you don't have to accept that in a way that you can choose if you want to play on it or not. But if you play on it, you get a franchise die, which is like the thing that you need to have to fulfill your mission. Also, you can make plot twists on your own. So if there's the thing that that would be cool, I'm just going to do a confession where I'm saying something like, the example here is like, I would, of course, never have flirted with that particular guy. Thankfully, the professor's quick thinking helped me to pull or bacon from the fire. And then you get the narrative power of saying, there's a thing going on here. I like this. I'm just going to put this in the story. And now me as GM and other players have to also incorporate that.
But is there a special phase for the confessional, or could it be within a scene?
Anytime. There is some rules. You can only do 1 confessional per scene for all of the table. But yes, it can be at any time. And the last thing is that you can do like flashbacks in Blade pretty much. So you can say, oh yeah, of course, we already did something preparing for this, bringing my bottle of very spicy chili to throw at this ghost or whatever. So yeah, the rules for it is pretty much address other players as if they were watching the confession on TV. They should always add and not take away things. So don't like retcon stuff or take away things from the other players. But just add to the story. Just 1 per scene. And each player may only give one confessional per game. So this session then. Each player can only give and receive one characteristic each game if you choose to do that. So, yes, that should be about it. The last thing is we'll do a mission now. The mission will be 14 points, franchise points worth. So you will need to collect 14 franchise points to fulfill the mission. And if you see on the reference chart, you see at the skill roll chart here, you see that you gain franchise die from succeeding. So pretty much like I have no plan set up here. And when you succeed, you describe what happens. So you have quite a lot of narrative authority in this game. It's not GM-less, but for being with a GM, it's almost the closest you can become. It could be GM-less, pretty much, I think, actually. You would just have to have some shared authority in another level. But this is pretty much the closest you have a lot of narrative power if you succeed. The only time where I say stuff is when you fail. And to like paint scenes and whatever. So that was the rule dump pretty much. Is there any questions? I think that is confusing to you.
Good.
Yeah, also if you have any questions, of course, during play, just fire away. So I'm just gonna, there is a nice and fun chart that I can use to roll up your customers. I'm just gonna find it here for a second, which I found interesting. So of course, it's the best way for me to not prepare at all. I can just roll it up, which seems funny. Let's see, I'm just gonna find the roll party that I made here earlier.
I now remember that I actually run the game before without reading the book, and I could have used one of those tables to come up with the mission.
Yeah. Yeah. So 7. It's a weird person. I'm gonna roll them again. It's a weird government official. Let's see. Who has a weird sound? In a sketchy neighborhood. Okay, so cool. Yeah, I think like it's quite. I think it's like later the same day. I think Frank is probably like gone back to his hotel. I mean, he doesn't really like staying in this neighborhood. First, staying at this 5-star hotel close to the harbor. And there's this guy like walking like up to your door, and he looks at it and is like looks around, a little confused. Who of you are in the office?
Henrik is kind of outside on the street handing out these balloons to like kids as they walk past.
Where are the rest of you guys?
Yeah, please.
I think Nordin sits behind the desk, has a tablet, and he's playing FIFA 18.
Yeah, and Anita would like to use the desk, but she's too polite. She's just walking around and trying to access the drawers with her hanging files and putting papers and putting them on the wall and writing on them. And gives him the side eye a little.
Yeah, Nordin is completely oblivious
Yeah.
about what's happening around him.
Yeah, I think there's like this I think it's a guy. I think he is an older person. I think he's like a gray hair and he wears a gray suit. Of course, he works in the public sector, so I need to make him very gray. And I think he like stops and like knocks on the door, like, and then like looks over at the balloon person.
Oh yeah, Henrik will like hand him a balloon, like, and be like, "What? Yeah, welcome to Ghost Exterminators." So,
Yeah, and I think you see him holding like this brown bag, like a leather bag in his hand, and he's like knocking with the other hand and looks like confused about what he's supposed to do. He's like, and then like he takes the balloon and it's like, how?
let me get the door for you. Yeah, let me get the door for you, sir. Let me get there now. And Henrik will like open the door and shoo him in.
Yeah, and he to the office and with the balloon and the like purse that he has and like a little too high and like walks in. This is I heard there is this you're the new business in for getting rid of bothersome supernatural things.
Nuruddin jumps up and shouts, "Yes, yes, 1-0, yes!"
Yeah, and I think you see him like, is he possessed? Is this like a marketing gimmick, having a possessed person in the office?
Oh no, of course not. He's just way into soccer, and he's not. We don't have possessed people here. We have all the tools to remove possessions, and we are very competent at what we do.
Oh, football. Oh, even worse. Well.
Oh.
And he like sits down in the sofa and like I think he like goes a little too deep and he sits like a little uncomfortably. Well, maybe you can help me then. Do you have like an opening offer or something? Do you have a promotion?
Yes, we do, sir. We do, sir, indeed. And Henrik comes over and he grabs a handful of like pamphlets that he's had freshly printed up and like stuffs them into this guy's like lap. He's like, "Yep, special offer, the opening weekend, half price exorcisms, buy one cleansing ritual, get one free." How can we help you anyway? What kind of paranormal problem are you currently experiencing?
And I think you see him like at you saying like all these very strange things. He like his shoulder goes up a little bit. And it's like exorcism and cleansing. That sounds very serious. Well, you see, it is in my office. There's a problem with there is like there's some person singing there all the time and whistling. It's extremely annoying for everyone. We have very important work. We work with the department of paper moving. It's very very important and needs silence so we can concentrate on moving the papers to the right place. If you don't get the paper to the right place, we have so much trouble on our hands then. Yes. It's horrible. And whistling.
And opens a drawer and pulls out a pad of paper and yes, of course, I understand completely. Silence is really important. Well, she's taking notes so, where is your office, if I may ask?
Oh, well, it is in this and it like mumbles this this name of I think it says it's in this you know Crime Town. It's in Crime Town. You know, and he like shakes his head. I don't know why the government decided it was good to put a public agency there, just because, you know, it's good to put things everywhere so we don't look racist or crime against crime or anything. We're supposed to be so pro criminals, and I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, you know, we can live with the shooting outside, but the whistling.
Shooting, you say, and she's scribbling furiously and underlining shootings. Yes, indeed. Well, my colleagues here are really quite. I think they will ask you any pertinent questions they need, and she goes and sits down. Really worried. Oh my.
Oh yeah, and I think it, like, you don't have to say it to him that to like wait for asking questions. He like starts going on about how annoying the whistling is and how important his work is, and I think it goes on for a little bit even before you get to intrude on him. What do you do?
Yeah, Henrik's gonna, you know, he'll sit him down and get like a branded sort of clipboard and start sort of asking him questions about it. And say, so are you sure that this disturbance, this whistling, are you sure it's of a paranormal nature and not just, you know, somebody, maybe the window cleaner outside, maybe a noisy neighbor, you know? Because, you know, whistling, it's quite a mundane disturbance, really. You know, we're more used to poltergeists and things flying around.
I know, sometimes people whistle if they don't like you. And nobody likes the government. I'm sorry to say.
You see his like eyes narrow a little bit, and then, well, first of all, nobody appreciates the hard work we do, and that's true. But who are you going to go to when you're in trouble? Yes, it's the government. So you just, you know, watch your mouth. And then
I'm not saying that I don't like the government, just people in general, and then they whistle.
Oh, well, I didn't think of it that way, but no, it's like it follows follows people around. It seems like people, they go to the bathroom and they go to even when where they're going, even when they go to like the bomb shelter, it's still like whistling. And I don't know. It seems like also we had some troubles with things getting, you know, mixed around with our papers. Like suddenly my work is on the desk of another person. I'm like, I mean, that would never happen. I would never put my papers on the wrong desk. It would never happen, I assure you.
This is more like it. This sounds like pretty straight out poltergeist activity.
Oh,
wouldn't you say, Noradine?
Specialty.
Yeah, that's Anita's specialty. I was asking about booing. Is there also booing, or is it just whistling?
Are we actively trying not to get this job? I whispered to Noradine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anita is our specialist for all non-booing poltergeist activity. I'm for the booing part. And he goes back to the desk.
Oh, he's just trying to put the work on somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, and I think you see like the guy lighting a little bit up at that. Like, oh yes, that is also a specialty of mine. It's a very important skill in the government. Putting work on other people. Yes, yes, I can appreciate that.
Oh.
And it's like, no, but no, it's no booing. I don't know. We're used to booing. There's demonstrations
are.
outside sometimes, but people don't whistle there. Yeah.
Well, yes. Poltergeists are indeed our specialty, but I have one question. You mentioned a bomb shelter. We need to know everything about the location so we can be prepared.
Yes, yes, yes. There is. It's a pretty old building, and in the basement there is like a bomb shelter, and there's a. I mean, we go there to. It's pretty much the only place where the boss don't go. So sometimes we go down there, and yeah, we put there a coffee machine there, and there's a ping pong table. It's pretty nice. But even when I go there to play ping pong, there is whistling.
Very odd.
I was there with Jesper the other day, and there was just the two of us, and we never talk or make any sounds when we were together. But there was whistling.
Well, that sound suspicious indeed, and very ghostly. I believe we may have some ghostly activity in your building.
I'd like to do a confessional here, if I may. If I may jump in. So Henrik's going to be speaking to me, goes, now, you know, I'm the lead singer in a band. You may have heard them. Copenhagen's premier black and doom band, Black Void. And we've played some weird places, you know. In fact, we once played a gig in a bomb shelter, but my God, that place, that bomb shelter we investigated, that gave me nightmares. And believe me, we heard a lot more than some whistling down there. God, I still think about it to this day.
Yeah, and I think you see like like the camera goes back to like the very close up to this guy face, and it's like you see it's like eyes being like completely like bloodshot, almost like there's something he isn't telling about the bomb shelter.
Yeah.
So then, Paul, oh, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead, Horst. Sorry.
No, my question was, do you establish a fact about the bomb shelter?
Oh.
With the confessional?
Yeah, I mean, you could do, yeah.
That there's worse things than just the whistling.
Yeah, there's worse things than just a ping pong table down there.
Yeah, cool.
And I fucking hate ping pong.
Oh my God, ping pong. Oh.
I mean, it's the most public sector sport I could come up with.
Huh.
Yeah, and I like he looks up and is like, yeah, but I'm sure you know more than enough now. Yeah, so I think you maybe should start. You bring maybe the best equipment you have. I mean, the whistling is horrible. Yes.
Yeah, of course. First things first, sir. Oh, by the way, I didn't catch your name.
So. Oh, it's Klaus. You know, like Santa Claus, almost.
Just with a K or a C?
No, with a C. Just like Santa Claus.
So just like so. Oh, perfect.
Yes. I mean, there's no E in the end. I'm not sure if it's. No, that's Claus. I don't know.
That's the movie. That's different.
Oh,
it's a great movie.
Yes.
Great movie.
Movie. Well. Anyway, yeah, Klaus.
Perfect.
And do you invoice? Can we Do you have? Can we be invoiced?
Yeah, sure. The original preliminary investigation is free, but if we then do decide to take the case, there will be a small deposit required up front, and then we'll invoice you for completion upon the job. Does that work okay with you?
Yes, great. That sounds perfect. And it like lays down this like big form with like the invoice procedure for the Department of Moving Things. It's like, yes, just do that, and remember to mark it with Klaus. Yes, there's just one Klaus in the Department of Moving Things. Don't worry.
Okay, so Mr. Klaus, first things first, we're going to have to do a preliminary on-site investigation. Now, of course, your business is our pleasure. So, would you prefer that we conducted this preliminary investigation, during your work hours, or would you grant us access to the office outside of working hours, and we can do our investigations then? What would you prefer, sir?
I think maybe it would be best to do it outside working hours. I mean, there's no one there after 2:30 anyway.
Stealing my joke, I wanted to say it's even hard to catch you in working hours between 10 and 10:30.
Yes. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. And also on Fridays, also good.
You're leaving at 1:00, I guess. Yes.
I mean, depends if the boss goes to the cabin on the beach or not. If the boss goes, nobody's there. Mm-hmm. Don't tell her that. Just to make sure.
Of course not. We're never going to meet her, I think.
Cool. So how would we access the office outside of work hours?
Oh, the password is 1234.
Oh, it's an electronic lock. That is certainly modern.
Yes, people kept losing their keys. It was a big expense of our department. It's weird how Department of Moving Things can be so bad at keeping their keys, but yes, that's how it is.
It's all tax deductible at the end of the day, isn't it, Mr. Claus?
And I think he doesn't smile at that at all. He's like,
and Henrik mutters under his breath, so wow, tough gig.
Yeah, cool. He gets up, tries to get up from the sofa, and on the third try he actually gets up, and oh well, that should be all then. Hopefully, I'll just send me a email when you're done. It's klaus@movingthings.dk. Klaus with a C, just like Santa Claus. Klaus.
Anita writes down the email, but of course she makes some kind of mistake. We'll notice later.
And Nordine makes a photo of what you've written down. Too lazy to write it down himself.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we'll end the customer thing scene here. So
let's have a gearing up montage. The best thing of every ghost busting movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of vehicle do we have? Is it like an old, I don't know, like a firefighting car, or is it a fire truck?
Yeah, one might be pretty sweet. We could put, instead of water, put this liquid in that we're also using in our guns.
That's true, but we don't have the modern ones, but an old one with a bell and everything.
Yeah.
How's the paint job on it?
I think it's.
Yeah, I imagine we've sprayed it. Maybe we've sprayed it with the logo on the side, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was probably not. It was probably the local kid who is like spray painting the walls everywhere, not like a professional person. So this is like with this, like imagine like with the silver spray or whatever, you know, you see.
And you see the color behind it still,
Yeah.
red of the original truck.
And it's now black, I guess, because that's our signature color that we use on the Super Soakers too.
How do you have like work uniforms or anything, or how do you all look suited up?
I think we do, but they must be cheap. So, something that's available in the stores, I think.
Yeah, from an overall from a DIY shop, and then stitched like a, what's it called, like an emblem of the franchise on the shoulder.
Yeah.
But it has the blue color of just a normal, run of the mill overall.
Oh, so is it blue?
Yeah, like a dark navy blue. I like that. Yeah. And like Henrik's sewn like a big patch with the logo of his band like on the back of it. And he's like cut off the sleeves, so it's kind of like a sort of tank top.
That's a great
And he has
detail.
pins, I guess.
Yeah.
Pins and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure like Henrik hasn't really sewed it on. It's like with security pins, of course.
Yeah, totally.
I think Nuruddin's mother has soon an 11 on his back, like a number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So before you left, did anyone do any research on what you're going to encounter, or bring any books in the car?
Oh no, like Henrik was really excited. This is like the first job that he's gone on. He's like loading up the van like with all the gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nuruddin sits behind the wheel and just Googles bomb shelter on his phone. Bomb shelter, Denmark.
Well, Anita did some quick research, but she didn't find much, so she took a few more books and carries them in her arms and just going through them on the drive there.
Yeah,
if you want to do some quick research, actually, you can make a dice roll for that and see what you find out.
Yeah, that was what I
Right.
was angling for.
I have academics. Oh. And my highest die is a 4. Does it work like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can describe your mostly positive results of your action, but you must also include a negative or humorous effect.
Humorous. Well, what exactly was I researching? I mean, trying to find out about whistling ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And I did find something. I think it may have something to do with what could it be?
I mean, can I roll technology with Bomb Shelter Copenhagen, maybe?
Sure, you can while Tina is thinking about.
Well, Tina's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
My highest is a 3.
3. Yeah, not great. The GM decides your fate, but you may be given a chance to suggest a single positive, albeit minor effect. Okay, so I think what you find is like this. I think there's like this chain of like hipster clubs called Bomb Shelter, and they're like everywhere. I think, but you don't. There's just like one of them in the area where you're going. Maybe there's also a whistling ghost there. Who knows?
The single minor positive effect is that they today have happy hour around the time that we would arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm having a hard time coming up with the negative effect of researching in the book, but I did find out that it may have something to do with soldiers in the war, especially World War II, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I'm not sure about the negative effect. Is it
I mean, I imagine
sound
maybe you're
paper
reading.
cut?
Yeah, I think maybe like I think the thing is that you read you read them on the when you're driving.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think
nausea.
you're getting car sick.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing for.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a stress test to me.
Yeah, it is definitely a stress test. You can
Okay,
roll
car
one
sick.
dice.
Oh, how many?
One dice.
One dice. All right. Oh, I rolled a 1.
Oh, complete and totally nuclear meltdown.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh,
projectile vomiting.
Yeah.
I think I'm having I'm sick.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a paper bag?
Oh yeah, I think you don't even get as far as like saying that complete sentence before like puke your guts out onto the books.
Oh no, not the
and-
books.
And you lose your cool, which you don't have, but you lose also a skill dice equal to the number of stress dice roll. Probably on like the physical one. That makes sense. You can choose though which one you lose.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using athletics, so I'm at 1.
So who's driving? Who's driving the van at this point?
Good question. Probably not Anita, hopefully.
Yeah,
And
and
also-
I mean I'm 23 or like 21 or something, so I can't really drive that
Okay.
well. One of the other reasons why you puke is that he's stopping abruptly and accelerating much too far quickly, and then he obviously stops at the club that is called Bump Shelter, and he's very proud, like showing, "Here we are."
Already
Please,
driving and researching on his phone. Perfect.
God, but we can't, we can't turn up to a job with you covered in puke, Anita. Come on, you're gonna get look. Yeah, polite. Yeah, well done, Noradine, for pulling over here. Look, this place here, the bomb shelter. Like, we're gonna have to go in and get you cleaned up, like before we go in.
yes.
And I did bring
Are
us
we going
very
in
soon.
with a? Sorry.
No, I'm done.
Are we going in with the vacuum cleaners and everything and the super soakers?
Are we?
I don't think we need that, Noradine. I think we can leave the gear in the van.
Oh, okay. Not sure who made you the boss. Boss.
Hey, look,
What?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we can't. It's not going to look very professional if we turn up to our first job and our CEO is covered in carrot chunks. Oh, and hey, look, there's a sign. I point to the sign. I'm like, it says some 5 till 6 happy hour. Like, hey, it's happy hour. So let's all be happy, huh?
Oh, please don't drink now. We need to be sober on the job.
Oh God,
And
I need a drink with this idiot in the car there, pointing at Noradine.
Yeah, I need a drink as well.
What? No. I'm going to the bathroom. Please take care. You're not drunk when I'm back.
Yeah, and I think you see like there's not a lot of people there, of course, because it's happy hour because nobody's there at that time.
But of course, we do need to buy something, so it's all right that you just taking something small and not too much alcohol in it.
Yeah, and you see like the sign above the bar, which is like 20 shots for €2 or something like that. And the bartender is like, I think he's like this guy in a lumberjack shirt with the beard, of course, and like this kind of short hair on top. I mean, pretty much like the hipster guy. And he's like sitting, I think he's like polishing his cocktail glasses. And there's like two guys sitting in the bar, and they're all both without. It's a hot day, so they're both like taking off their also lumberjack shirts, which are hanging over two chairs behind them.
I'd like to do a confessional scene here. So Henrik said, "Oh God, if I'd have known that Noradine had been such a sloppy drunk, I never would have bought him those shots." So I imagine Anita, you like get back from the bathroom from clean yourself up, and there's Noradine and Henrik sitting at the bar with these two guys, and they're all like they got these shots lined up, and they're all like banging back the shots, like.
Yeah, and I think you see like both of those guys like being like very excited to see Noradine, and it's like, and this one guy's like, I really can't believe I'm sitting here with Noradine Mikkelsen. We definitely need a selfie of this. Look at him chugging those shots.
And he just horrified.
Yeah, and you think you probably like see this thing on the Instagram of the Ghostbuster franchise too.
Definitely. Noradine is sharing the post. Sloppy drunk is quickly drunk.
Yeah, it basically means you get drunk really quickly and
after like 3 shots or something. So I would imagine after the selfie, he's hanging at Henrik's shoulder and like singing, and like a little bit tearful, something like, "We have been friends forever." And Henrik is obviously completely sober and doesn't compute what is happening.
Yeah, I'm like, trying to sort of like wriggle my way out of your kind of embrace.
We are such good friends, Henrik.
Like literally 10 minutes ago, you were at my throat. Like,
what? It was just a joke. Come on, man.
Come on, you need to keep it professional. I say, looking at these like 20 empty shot glasses on the bar.
Anita is tapping one of you on the shoulder, and indeed, yes. Speaking of professional, I think we have something we were planning to do. Maybe I should drive.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
He's out and is about to walk, and he shouts over his shoulder to the barkeeper, "You know where the real bomb shelter is? Can I maybe use my social skills?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. What are my social skills? Contact is 3. My highest die is a 6.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That means that you gain 2 franchise dice, first of all.
How many do we need to solve the problem?
14.
14. Okay.
Yeah, so we're getting there.
We're getting to the place.
Yeah, I'm gonna put move this dice over here, and then put this on top here. So, and you get to describe the result and gain. Yeah, so you can describe the result yourself. Where is the?
So, first of all, the the two hipsters at the bar, they actually drive in front of the truck and guide us to the place. Nuruddin is not driving. I don't know who's driving. I think Anita wanted to take the keys off him.
Yeah, she's the only sober one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the bomb shelter is in a park. It's like a park that has been abandoned by the municipality for some time, and there are, I don't know, maybe drug dealers and homeless people, and it's completely overgrown. Maybe there is a small part with an old what's it called, where you bury dead people. Cemetery, thank you very much. There's an old cemetery, but it's not really in use anymore. You have the old tombstones, but nobody cares for them anymore. And then nearby is this, and I think the bomb shelter is like, these not round ones, but elongated. So they are high up, and they have like a point, so that bombs would slide down the side. That's the entrance, and an old metal thick door, and then there's an unusual modern keypad next to it.
Where the hell did they put this department?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think when you like they drive in front of you, of course, and they're like 1-speed hipster bikes, getting there, and they're like,
Fixies.
yeah, we sometimes come here to drink beer. It's very cool. I think this is like the next up and coming place. There's some shootings here, though. It's a bit weird. What are you doing here, by the way?
That is confidential.
Oh, come on, Anita. These guys are our friends. Come on.
We just met them. They
bought us shots.
They did. They did?
Yeah, and they're like, he bought Nordin Mikkelsen shots and high fives.
Oh, I'm afraid we can't talk about this. Please.
We shouldn't talk about the ghosts and the government covering it all up.
Yeah, and I think they look at each other and like, oh yeah, we'll definitely follow his Instagram. I mean, see you later.
Laters.
And you hear like they're talking about, he's representing some ghost hunting company. Maybe we should go apply jobs there. Sounds very cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and you stand in front of this door, which it's like a big metal door. It looks a bit rusty, but the keypad looks modern.
So we're gonna tap in the passcode 1, 2, 3, and then like because Henrik's a little bit drunk, he kind of misses it and does 1, 2, 3, 5, and he's like, damn, what was it again? Was it 4, 2, 1? And he's like, bah. And it's like, oh shit.
No, wait, Anita's pulling out her pad. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think you can roll your tech actually.
Okay, I'll roll a tech. That's 2. Oh god. Hey, I rolled a 6.
Unbelievable. You also gained 2 franchise die.
Woo. So I press like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes ding, and the door like kind of unclicks. And we push it open, and there's this creak, and it's like deadly silent inside. And we're like, and then we hear this whistling. So like Henrik's like, did you hear that?
I'm very softly. It's only very quietly. Yes. I heard it. Yes.
And Henrik's like, damn, that would make an awesome fucking riff. Wow. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, and he just starts. He's like, yeah, he's like humming this. It's like, wow, inspiration strikes in the strangest of places.
And I think you see this. It's a room with like this very like soft yellow light, and the room is like it's probably like used to be white walls, but now it's a little yellowish, and there's like this plasticky kind of cover on the floor. And I think like, as you do like the rifting, I think you see like one of the ping pong balls off the table like bounce off the table.
Oh, could this already be the ghosts?
Yeah, I think they're friendly ghosts.
You think so? Because you like their music.
Yeah.
And she bends down and picks up the ping pong ball and looks at it. And puts it back on the table.
And I think like as you hear the door click behind you, you start like hearing the whistles from like other directions. It's the same like chorus, and it's in synchronous, but it's like it's coming from several different corners of the room.
Nureddin pumps up his super soaker.
Wait, maybe he's right. Maybe there are friendly ghosts. We shouldn't shoot them right away. Maybe we can talk to them.
Yeah, they might have even more cool riff ideas.
Yes, indeed, maybe.
Yeah, so Henrik sort of puts his hand on the super soaker and kind of lowers the nozzle. He's like, so mate, not so fast there, John Wayne, on your trigger finger. And hey, should you really be in control of a protoplasmic paranormal rifle weapon when you're pissed out of your head? Like, Anita, who's got the company handbook here? We should check out the rules.
Yes,
Who should do the shooting? The pencil pusher over here, or Mr. Gothic Kid, or me?
I am. If I may be so bold, I think Henrik should do the shooting. Maybe he's not as drunk.
Yeah, and I'll like grab the super soaker off of like Henrik and like wrestle it kind of.
Yeah, and like Nureddin tries to clumsily keep hold of it, but is too drunk to be determined about it. So he just waves it away. Yeah, then you do the shooting.
Don't be sad, Nureddin. You'll get your chance one day, or maybe even today.
I think I kind of want one of you to do athletics checks on that, actually. Which one is the one who's you think would make most sense in the fiction?
I think Henrik or Paul should roll.
Yeah. What, to wrestle the gun off you, kind of thing? You mean?
Yeah, I think more. I mean, probably like the consequences more like on the lines of what happens with the electroplasmic thing as the drunk person hands it.
Is there a discharge?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. And my athletics is really, really bad, so this is gonna be funny.
Yeah. Also, just to remind you, you can use your franchise cards if you want. So there is a possibility here with the gym card, for example. Just to remind you that the option is there. Forget an extra die.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I rolled a 2. Ooh, no.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Let's have a look on the reference shot.
So
Bad.
yeah. Yeah, I think like actually what happens is that like the super soccer was like extremely pumped up. It's like when you have pumped it so much you can't get the thing in. And
Yeah.
I think like the whole tank actually kind of blows off as you drag it, like hold it on, and like the thing squirts everywhere. And I think there's like a small second of silence, and then it's like almost like this. Instead of whistling, there is like almost like there's this black metal ghost like rah, 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 instead, and you hear I mean, and like a lot of lights start flickering. And I think I think the ping pong paddles like start moving as well towards you, like and very like quickly. What do you do?
Yeah, so Henrik's like covered in this like ectoplasmic gunk now because he's like wrestled the gun off and it's like gone all over him. So yeah, he's feeling pretty stressed. I mean, this is, you know, his brand new like sort of boiler suit that he's customized.
Confessional. I have a confessional.
Oh, go for
it. So, I mean, that Henrik guy, there's something about him. When I saw The Dark Void when I was 19, there was this light show, and there was the riff, and the power cut out, and that guy had the balls to just stand there, grab an acoustic guitar, and shred it to pieces. I mean, he's kind of an asshole, but he's got balls. So my the thing I put on you is maybe something like Cool Under Pressure or something.
Oh, nice. Oh, I feel really bad now that I gave you Sloppy Drunk.
That's
okay. Cool Under Pressure.
Sloppy Drunk is also cool.
Cool. So yeah, so in that moment, like Henrik really like snaps it together, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I remember that time." He remembers that time when, you know, the power went out, the gig, and this is nothing compared to that, you know. So he can deal with a few bouncing ping pong bats, totally. So yeah, he's going to stride up to the ping pong table and grab the bats like out of the air. So, oh god, I've got to roll for this, haven't I? That sounds like athletics, doesn't it? Oh no!
Use the gym dice.
Oh, use the gym die. How many have we got? We got 2, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll use one of those as well. Yay! I rolled a 6. Thank God. Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah. Henrik's really, really happy that this job comes with like the perk of like free gym membership. Because yeah, he's never been to a gym before in his life, but he's glad that he did now. So yeah, so he grabs like the ping pong bats as they're coming towards him, like grabs them out of the air, and like bangs them together, like bang, bang, bang. Like that. And he's like, "Hey, ghost! Bang, bang, bang! We'll take none of your messing around. Don't you try to scare us. We're here to commune with you, find out what causes your souls to be restless. We're here to help." And he kind of starts waving the ping pong bats around in these kind of tracing out these mystic symbols that he remembers from the cover of this, like his favorite band's like album. Like he's like, they'll recognize these mystic symbols. And the whistling starts, and it sounds like it's getting closer. coming from like either side, like coming into the middle. It's like the ghosts have been sort of placated by us showing that we're not scared of them.
Yeah, and I think like as there's like a thing that like drips off you like from the electroplasmic thing, and it's almost like you see like the drop going to the floor, and like the like small like vapor going up of like of it being like psh, and you see this visage of this this thing like where there's this person standing there with like their head under their arm, and you see like you hear like very faintly from the whistling stops a little second. It says, "Just free us from this bureaucratic hell." And then like the whistling starts again, and like the visage fades. And I think like the door that goes out of the bomb shelter like goes open like with a bang. What do you do?
So we can leave again. Well, I think we may have an opening with these ghosts, and maybe we can talk to them. Please, dear ghosts, you seem to be upset. Maybe we can help you, free you of these bureaucrats, or the other way around.
Yeah, that sounds like a contact.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I've only got 2 dice. Oh, I've got a 5, which is 1 franchise die. Okay,
We're up to 7 now.
I guess the this ghost appears again, and maybe even with his head on this time.
Yeah, I think you probably like see him take his head like and put it on actually.
Yeah, so he can speak freely. Well, and am I saying what he says?
Mm-hmm.
Or how much can I decide?
Let's see. It says, yeah, describe results. Sure, I can, if you want to, like the initial thing he says at least.
Yeah, maybe I should have set the stakes before the roll.
No, no worries.
Well, what is bothering you about these office workers?
I think like you can see he like still is like trying to get his head on the right way, and like he's starting to talk, and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Did you meet any of them?"
Yes, they're. Well, he was very accurate and special. Yes.
Boring is the word you're looking for.
Oh, yes, Noreen, thank you. That's not very nice, but descriptive.
Yeah, and I think he like when you say boring, he's like, they are so boring. I mean, before they started to have the office here, there was no one here, and it was less boring than being here with them. Being dead is bad enough.
So, I think I see 2 options here. Maybe either you move out into another place, which is less boring, while at the same time more boring. Well, fewer people, or we can try to get these people to move out, or actually a third option, trying to make these people more interesting.
That sounds like a good idea. Maybe we could get them to introduce, like a dress down Friday or something. Get them to cut loose a bit. Maybe they could have a thing where, Friday afternoons, knock off work a bit early. Maybe they cook some tacos, have a bit of a party in the bomb shelter. Hey,
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. I knew you were good for something.
Yeah.
Quiz Fridays.
Bring your own book Thursday. Bring your own book.
But books are boring.
Yeah, you really know how to live in it.
This sounds like a role, and I also like to say that it is possible to help in this
cool.
system. So what you do is that you do your own thing, and you can give one of the dice from your result to another player. So it doesn't have to be the same die. You could, for example, I don't know, entertain them with push-ups and give one die for the contact roll of Henrik, for example. It's like a very hypothetical example.
I mean, it sounds like as if Anita does the talking and we just spouting ideas.
Yeah, I've got the worst contact stat, but whatever. Maybe I can use the good-hearted talent. How would that work?
Yeah, you can get an extra die for that. That's applicable here, I'm sure. You seem
I'm really trying to make a compromise. Okay, so I'm rolling contact with 3, and
and are you doing anything to help?
Yeah, I mean, either Henrik or Noordin, has input on how to make them more interesting. I mean, I've to game the thing, I have 3 contact dice, so, and I rolled a 4. You can have my 4 if you want.
So that means that what is your worst one?
My worst one is a 3.
Cool.
2 3s and a 4.
Okay. Oh yeah, I would need that because I've had all 2s.
Good. So I'm gonna take what Nordin does first. What exactly was it that Nordin was like saying?
Yeah, I was saying Taco Tuesday and pub quiz on Fridays. And for the pub quiz, for every wrong answer, they have to drink a shot.
I think he like turns his head towards you, like without turning the body, and says like, "Do you know how much bureaucrats know about things? We would lose this quiz every time, and we can't even drink. We just spill the alcohol on the floor. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard."
Well, one of the categories has to be sports. They don't know sports for shit.
So you're gonna teach them, the ghosts.
And he's like, "Sports from the 50s then."
I mean,
right?
Top 100 pop songs and actual like sports from now.
And I think it turns like towards Anita, and you get fair. So you get to describe the most positive results of your action, but you must also include a negative or humorous effect.
Okay. Well, I guess they are somewhat convinced. So the ghost says, "Well, that may be an idea. I like the books, and the drinking is really bad. But maybe the books and stuff about the past. Maybe we could teach them something about history, even."
Oh my god, you make it sound even more boring. No alcohol and books.
And what kind of humorous effect could I add? course. There's something with the head again.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
he gets so excited that he like loses his head and gets and like catches it just barely with his hands before it like drops to the floor. And it's like, oh, I haven't been so excited in centuries. Bring in some books and history teaching. Oh, that sounds.
And that sounds like something for a soccer player with the head on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well-
like he says like, oh, I have to go tell the others about this, and then like swoosh, you see like this cold breeze, and he like disappears out the door, and you're like, I think you still like hear the whistling from like the door, but not in here anymore.
Well, that's perfect. Now we need to convince these bureaucrats to do all those things, and I'm not sure we can do that.
Yeah.
Now that they're gone, we may have to talk about a plan B.
Yeah, I think we need to come back tomorrow and talk with the bureaucrats and get them to get on board with the idea of this of having a fun afternoon once a week to keep the ghosts like.
Shall we not maybe invite Klaus to a cool bar or something? And
The bomb
Because-
center.
Yeah, we could get him drunk at the bomb shelter. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's a terrible idea, but
No,
Why
And
not?
this is a
I call
brilliant
the
idea.
barkeeper and ask for like a pub quiz and for tacos, and then we
pub
can
quiz.
show him all the goods and maybe a book reading. Obviously, a book reading.
I brought some books in the car actually, but they're a little bit dirty.
Yeah, who's? I think we smash cut to like you sitting in the fire truck again, like going back to the office, and who is making that call to Klaus?
Nuruddin is sleeping. I think he's sleeping his the alcohol off.
I think someone with a
Yeah.
good contact.
Yeah, Henrik will do it. Henrik will, yeah, he'll ring up Mr. Klaus, and yeah, invite him along to the bomb shelter this evening. But he's going to try and make it so it doesn't sound like he's asking him out on a date because it's a bit weird. Like he goes, yeah, Klaus, we've investigated your ghost problem, and we.
Very
I
efficient.
mean, yeah, we've made a lot of progress right away. First off, yeah, you definitely do have a poltergeist infestation, and we've come up with a few potential solutions that we think might fix this problem of yours. We'd like to discuss them tonight. Maybe over a drink.
Yeah, and I think you like he says like, oh, I was just about to go to bed, and you like see at the watch, and it's like 7. And you can roll the contact.
Yeah, sure. So, I got 4 contacts. So that's loads.
So we could say the ghosts are also pretty boring, but in a different way.
Less boring than the bureaucrats, that's for sure.
Oh, I only
Yeah.
scored a 3. I rolled 4
What?
dice. I only
On
scored
4
a
dice?
3. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, same. Oh god. I mean, how does
You
this work?
can't lose any.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what happens.
Oh
I
no.
think you hear him like, oh, yes,
Oh, god. Maybe he does think it's a date.
you and me in the bar.
Oh no.
And I think I'm gonna give you a stress for this, that is like awkward.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So yeah, can I save the stress roll for when we actually meet at the bar?
Yeah. And I think he's like, oh, I mean, I'm sure that's okay. It's not that professional of a relationship. Sure, I'll meet you there. 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah, like yeah, you know, don't get dressed up or anything. You know, it's not.
Oh, I was already dressed up, waiting for you to
just
call.
a casual meeting. Oh no. Oh good. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we should all be at this scene at the bomb shelter then, having this bar. Could we take a quick 5-minute break before?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
everyone all right?
Let's have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We can be back at 21.
Yeah, I think Horst just.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it in the chat.
Okay, cool. See you in a bit. Hey everyone.
Yes. So I think we like smash cut back to the bar.
Confessional, please, first,
Yeah.
if I can. So Henrik sitting in that chair and he goes, quite frankly, I was pretty anxious about going on a date with a fat 50-something-year-old bureaucrat. You know, really not my type. But turns out I needn't have been worried because, you know, I wasn't his type either. He was much more interested in the young, pretty 25-year-old footballer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like
Sorry, before we go to the club, he would probably call the barkeeper and says, "Hey, this is Novedine Mikkelsen."
oh, hey, awesome to hear back from you so soon.
Yeah, I mean your club is the best. I wanna make like a autograph signing later on, but I have a certain conditions. So I need tacos. There has to be tacos, and there has to be a pub quiz. A pub quiz with top 100 pop songs, football, and history. And I might bring some books. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, I think this is where you roll your contact.
Yeah, that sounds like a contact roll to me.
All right. Let's see. I have 3 contacts. That's a 5.
That's another franchise die here then. See, I'm gonna move one up here. So let's see, how many are we at? We're at 8 franchise die.
Okay.
So we're 6 left. And I think he's like, oh my god, that's just the coolest thing that's happened at the bomb shelter for like a week. We're definitely like, yeah, sure, man. Tacos. We have like this awesome taco place right next door. I mean, there's taco place all over the place. It's so cool. And quiz, yeah, sure. Yeah. Autograph signing, you say? What are you autographing?
T-shirts of my my Arsenal shirts. I'll bring a couple of them.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I can't believe I'm gonna have Nordin Mikkelsen in my bar signing Arsenal shirts. That's the coolest thing. I'm just gonna, yeah, you come whenever. I'll have everything ready. Don't worry about it.
And then maybe we see Nuruddin. He has this beautiful curly black hair, and he's oiling it and putting on perfume and like a white suit. And he packs his Arsenal shirts and like a black marker and a rose in his what's it called, like on his suit.
Yeah, and I think like you see Henrik sitting like in the bar with Klaus, and they're like I think he's like eating tacos like crazy. Like it looks very, I mean, it's like he's like making a mess. And I think you can roll that stress die now, Henrik.
Yeah, definitely. So here we go. Hold on. Oh, I didn't roll. I rolled a 2. Oh.
You're frazzled. You lose 2 dice from an appropriate skill, or 1 die from 2 skills.
I think that would definitely be my contact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like Henrik's like, oh, he's looking around the whole time, hoping that nobody he knows like sees him sitting at the bar with this like, it's like.
Oh yeah, and I know exactly what happens. Of course, it is like this gang in like this from the void like shirts, like hoodies that come in, and they're like looking at. They're like, oh, Henrik, and you see like and you see them like the one poking his shoulders like shh, and like points at the at Klaus. let's not disturb him. He looks like he's on a date.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, and I like just like bury my head in my hands and try and sort of hide. And then
yeah.
and then maybe Klaus like maybe like gives me like a hug and he's like, oh, this is the best night I've had in a long time. Oh no!
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, and
So,
very
yeah,
go ahead.
I'll drop 2 points off of my contact then for being seen out in public with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like going up on the like getting mentioned. You're getting mentioned on Twitter.
Oh yeah. I suddenly get like loads of like pings on my phone, like they've taken a picture like of me, like with this guy like hugging this like the
And with hearts over it.
Yeah. And my phone's just blowing up. It's just like people retweeting it everywhere, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what is Anita doing?
Well, Anita, did we go home before we came here?
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit later
yeah,
on in the
so
evening. Could have time. For that.
Anita took some new books, history books, for the pub quiz, and she's already preparing them and putting them on the tables everywhere. And I think I'm ready now. And how are we doing this?
Yeah. What kind of books did you choose?
Well, I think I brought some books on military and history, and also some old soccer books, maybe sports.
Yeah, cool.
Because and then also some about food and jam making. Because
awesome.
That's my secret passion.
Of course it is. I mean, I think you're gonna roll. You have to roll an academics for that. See how much you're hitting on these books.
Oh, I've got a 6.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
I think what I'll do is that I'll go back and narrate a bit further, and when the quiz comes up, you can get to narrate the result.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think like as Henrik is sitting there with and the awkwardness couldn't get any worse, I think Noradine enters. How do you look, Noradine?
I look stunning. I mean, I have this olive skin that obviously I take care of with all kinds of lotions. I smell very nice. And I think when I enter in the television series, there's this romantic guitar playing in the background, and Klaus looks over his shoulder at me, and my hair is like moving, although there's obviously it's a bar, there's no wind, but there's like a wind machine or something doing the trick.
I have a great idea. Like when you walk in, the song that plays is "Sexy Back" by Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah, and I think you see like a Klaus like dropping his taco. He's like holding his like, and there's like another like speck of food that falls down from his like mouth.
How does Klaus look like? Is he? Does he has his gray shirt, a gray suit on, or did he dress for the occasion?
I think he has like the same gray suit on, but he has like this tie with like smiley faces.
Oh, cutting loose.
And I think I want you to roll contact on that though, like still to see if you can use that leverage for, or maybe you want to. We can also go on for like a little bit to make if you want to like actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see is that there's you don't really see the beginning of the pub quiz. There's no sound. You just see Klaus and Nureddin hanging over the card where they have to write down the right answer, and they are high-fiving, and Nureddin knows something that Klaus doesn't know, and Klaus does know some things that Nureddin doesn't, and they are on a winning streak. And maybe that's when the book part, the history part begins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is the special questions that really like? How does that look when you hit that question that Klaus really is like, oh man, this is like, I've been waiting for this question in a quiz for like forever, and nobody's asked it.
Is it already in the history part thing or before?
Yeah, I'm asking Anita for what.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, it's about jam making, and it's some kind of special technique how to sterilize glasses and what it's called, and I have no idea about jam making actually, but this is something he knows.
Yeah,
that's a secret passion with jam.
Yeah, and then you see him light up, and he's like, oh yes, I know this. You know, if you don't have to cook the berries. They can actually go raw if you only do like this. Is the technique is called. But nobody does this anymore. It's I learned this from my grandmother, and yeah, so cool. And he like looks up at the quiz master and is like, with his like thumbs up. And I thought like he scribbles it down at the note. At like, what is your team name?
I think it should be called the Librarians, but I guess I'd probably be overruled with that.
I think it should be called the Funky Librarians.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Cool. So what do you do to try to win him over for doing some more of the interesting stuff on with it, for getting his colleagues to do it, Nordin? Using all the leverage you now have over him.
So I need to come up with something to persuade him to bring, like, to introduce that to his colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he says, when we're on the pitch and everybody fights for themselves, we never win. But when we play as a team, when we become a machine that just functions one wheel in a big part, a well-oiled machine, then we can achieve everything. We can find all the files. We can file all the files. We can push all the papers. It's incredible. But if you're and to become a machine, you have to blow off steam once in a while. I mean, becoming a machine is outside of your day-to-day. It's here. It's in the pub quiz. It's in the tacos.
Yeah.
Can I do a confessional?
Yeah.
So Henrik says, it was about this time that I realized it was probably a really bad mistake inviting the poltergeist to the party at the bomb shelter.
Yeah, and I think you. Yeah, and I think you hear like this melody come on the speakers. But it's like I think it's actually like a marching song or something. It's part of the quiz, the history quiz, I think. And you see like Klaus freezing up a little bit and then like blowing off steam. And you can still roll contact here, and then I'll.
Yes, I have a 666. Not that it changes everything, but it is a 6.
That's Henrik's favorite number,
So-
666.
where it's double 6. So before the ghosts come in, shall I describe his reaction?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. First of all, we see that he, like while Nuruddin is describing how individuals become a team, he sits there with his hand in his face, and he looks, I don't know, he looks thoughtful and maybe a little bit in love. He looks at the long eyelashes of Nuruddin, and maybe he doesn't really hear what he's saying, but he's getting the idea anyways.
Yeah, and I think when you say like a well-oiled machine, you see like this glints of oil from your hair, and it, like the bing, and I think you see like Klaus like dropping his taco again, and at this, but at the song, I think you like there's like this small as the song goes down, and I think everyone is watching actually, like, and there's like people taking like pictures like shh. And you see like the camera. I think you see the cameraman like crying, and then you start hearing like this whistling, and like Klaus immediately like freezes up, and you feel like this cold in the room, and like the door open, and there's like this cold breeze coming in, and I think the camera like. Focuses on Henrik's face that probably like looks a little like, oh,
it's getting a tad chilly here. Maybe I should get a cardigan from the car.
and I think you hear like this rasping voice again, like, and finally the bureaucrat is having fun and we're not invited. What do you have to say for yourself? You promised. And like it's with this star. I imagine like this kind of like Galadriel-ish voice in like Lord of the Rings, like this really like it's like deafening.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, I think you see like Henrik like Klaus like, no, not the ghost.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm giving also Henrik another 2 stress, I think, and you others can have 1 stress each.
Oh, okay, 2 stress, yeah, because I should never have invited these guys so long, should I? Now they're free. Oh, God.
Oh, I already had stress and didn't put it in. I think I had 1 and now I'm at 2.
You can't have 0 in one thing. So.
No, you can have 0, actually.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, when you from stress you can. Then you automatically fail at everything that's related to that skill.
Yeah, I think my old knee injury, the cold, is not good for it. Do it again.
Did you roll the dice?
Oh, I see.
Oh, do I have to roll before?
Yeah. You roll 1 dice and then we see.
And then I see the result.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 5.
Blasé, no effect. You just don't care. I think you're still like looking into Klaus's eyes and it's like, did you have your result, Paul?
Yeah, I rolled a 2, so I'm frazzled. Yeah. I see these like I see the ghost like materialize like in the club, and there's way more of them than I thought. You know, I thought I was just inviting like 1 or 2 ghosts, and they all materialize, all these headless ghosts, and there's like 20 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Henrik just like grabs like the bartender's walking past with like a bottle of like whiskey or something. He just like grabs it out of his hand and like downs the whole lot. Oh my god. So I'm gonna take more from my contact. I think one from my contact and one from my athletics. I'm really drunk now, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you roll a stress, Tina?
Yeah, I rolled a 6.
Oh, you're too cool for school.
Yeah.
You gain a point of cool and suffer no real stress. So you can mark 1 cool point on your.
Great.
And that means that for if you can use it either on any roll you want, even but not if you have 0 in the attribute. And also you can ignore 1 dice stress things because you're cool. Yeah. So what do you guys do? I think like people start screaming and like and like the bartender looks very angry. He's like, no, not ghost. Damn, this was going so well.
I like Nuruddin says to the barkeeper, quick, give me an answer card for the pub quiz. And then he scribbles down on the card something with ghost. The chill ghost crew or something, and then he holds it up to the leader of the whole gang and says, "But we did invite you, right, Henrik? You invited them. We have a spot for you. You can join us. It's fun."
Yeah, they can join the pub quiz. There's enough of you. You know, there's 20 of you. You could start your own team. Join the pub quiz. And I say to Anita, didn't you say, whisper to her, I say, didn't you say that these whispering ghosts were something to do with World War II or something?
Yes.
Like, that would kind of fit. Like, 'cause if you said, like, they've been dead for 50 years, that kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yes, that's true.
So like, hey, maybe we should make the specialist knowledge round all about World War II history, and then they'll win. And then maybe they'll be placated and feel happy about it.
Yes, that's a good idea. But anyway, I was just on the way out to get a cardigan from the car, and I'll be back in a minute with my cardigan, right? She whispers and winks.
Cardigan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's going to the car to get this vacuum thing, but it's really heavy. And super soakers.
Yeah, I think you're gonna let you roll a tech die actually if it's working.
And I think it's working if I can get out.
And you can you guys also did things, so I can let you help with your social maneuvers in there.
So are we seeing if the distraction, me saying I just need something to put on?
No, I think they are helping with distraction, but you're like doing that. Your ghost vacuum cleaner has to actually work for this.
Okay.
I've got a 4 for distraction.
Yeah, and what is your lowest dice left then?
My lowest one is 2.
No, are you giving your 4 away? Is what I'm asking, I guess. So which your next?
Please.
So I keep the 3 and the 2, and I give away my 4.
Yeah.
Because I only rolled a 2.
I rolled a 6. I rolled my contact, which is just 1, and I rolled a 6.
Nice.
Oh.
So you can have that.
Yeah, sure. So it works. I can.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing an armful of these soakers and also pulling this heavy vacuum thing. And I'm
like Henrik's like distracting like the ghosts. He's getting them all like organized into this pub quiz team. He's like getting them all to sit down at a big. He's like pushing like 4 tables together and saying, "Hey, you guys can all sit around here." Getting them all into one place.
Yeah.
And I think also this is the last die you need, actually.
Oh. So
Yes.
I guess the machine actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pressing the button to turn it on, and it starts humming really loudly, but it seems to be working and producing some kind of glow around itself.
Yeah, and I think you can see like all the ghosts like getting sucked into the vacuum cleaner, but they actually go through Henrik on the way as he's standing in between the ghosts and you, and I think you get another 2 stress from your nice 0 failure result of being like ice cold.
Yeah, basically having like poltergeist dragged through my body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. I scored a 1.
Oh no. Poor Henrik. And I think like you see Klaus crying out, no, not the poor ghosts, and like you see him like started crying on Nordin's shoulder, holding around him. And you see like probably like him like sniffling and probably like having some fluids on your Arsenal, ranking your Arsenal shirt now. But like the ghosts go into the vacuum, and you get another 2 dice away. Poor Henrik. No, 1. Yeah, no, 2. Yeah, because it was 2 dice.
Yeah. So that's it. I think all of my skills are on 1 now.
Oh no.
Yeah, he needs a vacation.
Yeah.
Already. It's the first day.
Yeah. And I think as the last ghost go into the vacuum, you see like I think you see the bar, and it's filled with tacos on the floor and broken glasses, and the bartender is like standing in the bar and is like, no, we had so many customers, now everything is ruined. And I think you see like like the last bottle of whiskey probably like falling down from the shelf. Is like, oh.
Now don't be sad. This is a good thing. These ghosts are now probably in a better place, and everything is much better, and everybody is happy now, right? I mean, the bar is in bad shape, but we can all help you rebuild and stuff. He's just trying to be really nice to the barkeeper.
Yeah, and I think it's
gonna be fine.
And I think like you hear like Klaus sobbing on Nardin's shoulder, like, I'm never having fun again.
Nordin passes his breast pocket handkerchief to him, but he also, I think, he makes a photo of the sucked in ghosts. We need to have some proof for our website or whatever, for the public relation part, that we actually do exterminate ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
On top of ruining other people's bars.
Yeah.
The vacuum cleaner has like a see-through compartment where you can see the swirling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as like the episode probably like cuts at like this picture on the Instagram and like having like 5,000 likes or something, and then we like cut to like the next time on Ghosts Exterminators Inc. Denmark. And we see like a scene from each of you. I think like recovering at home in your home environment in some way. And I would like want to see like one like small outro scene from everyone, where how you deal with your more or less horrible backlash from this mission. Let's start with Henrik. Where is he?
Okay, so Henrik is he's at band rehearsal late that night. So he's in this dingy, like dark room, like with the rest of his band, you know, and they're all dressed out in their full like black sort of satanic death metal outfit, and he's like, yeah, I've got this like new idea for a song, and he picks up his guitar and he starts playing like this riff that from the Ghosts, like the whistling. And he's like, hey, what do you guys think to the rest of the band? And they were like, man, that is so fucking lame. You've changed, man. You've gone commercial. You're selling out. This job, like, nah. You're losing your edge. You're losing your edge, Henrik.
And also, you put all our money in there. And it's going terribly.
And like that's just stressing him out even more. Like, you know, his band like hate him now.
Oh no. What about Anita?
Well, Anita is at home in her kitchen, and she made herself some sandwiches with freshly made jam. And she's reading a newspaper article about those ghosts and what may be the background of them, and she's going to her shelves and researching some more, and she's suddenly really sad because those were not bad people in life, and now they're probably feeling terrible or just dead, and she feels really sorry for the ghosts and what they used to be, and then a tear rolls down her cheek, and oh, I'm sorry, ghosts. And she bites into her sandwich, and the tear falls onto the jam.
And I think you see like the jar of jam. It's like it has like this band around it with like this small tag, and it says eternally grateful, Klaus. This is my favorite one.
Oh.
Like a heart. It's a gray heart, though.
Oh, a gray heart, of course.
And lastly, what is Nordin up to?
Nordin sits in his front room, or actually the front room of his parents, and he's sitting in front of the television and looks at old DVDs of his best goals in the Premier League in the 2015-2016 season. When his mother comes in, he's sitting on the ground in front of the table and eating spaghetti bolognese, and his mother comes in and says, it's Klaus again. And I say, I'm not home.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Klaus.
Yeah, cool. And I think that's like the when the end credits come. Cool. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for. Yeah, go ahead.
I really like the confessional about the ghosts. That was an awesome idea. Like bringing in a new, interesting element.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I was like looking at the clock and I'm thinking, we've only got half hour left here. Let's bring the climax to us rather than us going there.
Yeah, and what Mikael said about the game being more or less GM-less, I mean, that was thinking as a GM, like how do we tie all things together? That's really awesome.
Yeah, I definitely think it would have worked absolutely fine, like GM-less, that game.
Yeah, I
Like,
think so
mean,
too.
Probably.
how did you feel about it, Mikhail? Like, because it seemed like quite a lot of the time you were just kind of, yeah, not really doing much. You're just like, yeah, like,
Yeah, no, it definitely could. I think I have to say I enjoy this kind of jamming. I can just like not the creative load on me is less, so I can use more time on doing like painting scenes and having like details and stuff. And I think that's fine. I like that, but sure, I'm sure like I could definitely run this GM-less. I think, yeah, for sure. You might have to do
Spotlight
some very
management,
small
maybe.
thing about who's maybe having a scene structure where it's like someone has the scene framing responsibility or something like that, and then
Yeah, you have that in Lovecraft Desk, don't
Yeah.
you? That you have this very specialized roles, and then everybody can also add some flavor and color.
Yeah, it's a really neat game though. I really like it. It's it's a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit like Blades, just very simple. It's the same way that in the same way that it's very like GM full, and if you want to have it go in a direction and the GM is not taking you there, you can just like, oh, I'm just gonna take in that direction, which I really like.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think I've read that John Harper likes the game. I think it must be an inspiration for the flashbacks, at least.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
Blades.
Yeah, it must be.
I school as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of I see a lot of Blades.
Stress mechanic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. Really, I really liked playing it, and you all really brought it. Of course, it was very nice playing with you. You were a good group.
Yeah, well done, everyone. I did enjoy it.
Cool. I'm just gonna stop the broadcast now, at least, so
Yeah.
I can